Okay, so binary molecular is the next one we're going to look at. So in your notes you can put binary molecular. So they're just two elements as well. What do you look for? It's two nonmetals hooked together. Okay, so you look for two different nonmetals. There won't be a metal in them. So then how do you name these? These we don't have to worry about looking up the charge, because they don't have a charge, because they share electrons. So that oxidation state doesn't, the charges don't come into play. And so how do we deal with determining how many of each element we need in a formula is we use prefixes. So the prefixes tell us how many of each atom that we have in the formula. So we don't have to look charges and balance them out. So carbon monoxide, mono, is 1. CO. We never put mono in front of the first element if there's just one of them. Okay? We will put prefixes in front of every element in the name if there's two or more. So we don't say monocarbon monoxide. We just say carbon monoxide. Okay? Another one here is two nonmetals hooked together. If you notice, they have a prefix. Nitrogen dioxide. Okay? With that one. I forgot one over here. Phosphorus is a nonmetal, oxygen's a nonmetal. So P2 is di, goes in front of phosphorus. Okay? And we don't say diphosphide. Okay? It's not at the end. So again, we have endings of IDE, but not the first element. So diphosphorus, and then pent is 5. Pentoxide. So prefixes you'll have to know. And I think for the most part, you know most of these. You might have to work on some of them more than others. So 1 is mono. 2 is di, right? 3 is tri. This is the one that students will struggle with. 4 is tetra. 5 is penta. 6, anybody know? Like 6-sided figures of what? Hexagon, right? So hexa. 7 is hepta. Hey, you guys have seen these, right? You guys remember when we had our liquids? Then we have pentane. And we had hexane, right? So 6 carbons in a row. That kind of is a common thread on some organic chemistry as well. 8. You guys know that one, right?
I have a question.
Yep.
So like on 5 you have like the A on the end of penta or whatever, but on there you don't.
Right. I'll get to that. You can't have when you name them, they don't want 2 vowels in a row. They don't want 2 vowels together.
So then you just drop like.
So you drop the A. So if you have like an oxide, anything with oxide, it's like hexoxide, heptoxide. They don't put 2 vowels together. Good observation. Yes, that was not a mistake. That is purposeful. Okay, octa. N-O-N-A, nona. And then 10 is what? You guys know that one. 10 years is a decade. So deca. So most of those you know from doing geometry, in that you know the sided figures and that you can kind of figure out what it's going to be based upon that. So some memorization, maybe not. So like if you look up here, like she was saying, we don't put pentaoxide. I'm probably not going to count it wrong if you put pentaoxide. Okay, and that's getting a little bit too, particular. But would like you to It could be a half a point, not a whole point. So just kind of, we want to work the rules the way they're supposed to be. So diphosphorus, pentoxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide. So we'll do a couple of these both ways, and then we'll get you guys time to practice, because that's what you really need, that opportunity. These are really pretty easy, writing the formulas and doing the names. What's tough is when they're all mixed up, and a lot of people will just write nitrogen oxide on this one, because they're thinking it's just like a metal, non-metal. So they'll just say nitrogen oxide. They'll just say phosphorus oxide on this one. But you have to just recognize there's two non-metals hooked together, and so then you got to use prefixes when you do that. Okay? So let's go ahead and do some examples. Let's do the names since we did the prefixes. So we'll give you 2 to do. And then I'm going to give you 2 names, and we'll write the formulas out with them. So N2O4, S2O3, tetraphosphorus decoxide, and arsenous hexachloride. Some of these type of things you see a lot in organic chemistry as well, or none, or this is really not inorganic nomenclature here. These are just molecular, so so N2O4 is what? Nitrogen tetroxide. Okay, tetroxide. Okay, this would be disulfur trioxide.
So wouldn't it just be trioxide? Or do you have
Yeah,
to add-
there. I know most of the time we don't put 2 vowels together, but the integrity of tri is TRI. And so if we put just troxide, then somebody looking at it would not realize that prefix is tri. So that's why you have to put the I in there when you use tri. Yep. And then tetraphosphorus is P4O10. And then arsenous is AS. And then CL6. That's what that would be. So that's there is a spot to practice these online as well. So when you go to that site, there's ones that are called binary ionic, and then there's binary molecular. The quiz I'm going to give you on binary molecular is a pretty short quiz. It's only 10 of them. Yeah, there's only so many I can make up with those. So that one's just 10 points. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
If there's only one, like there is on the last one, you don't have to put mono.
Right. You don't ever put mono in front of the first one.
Okay.
Mono is only designated for the second atom. Because, like carbon monoxide that we know carbon monoxide is something that happens. You hear about it every once in a while, poisoning, because furnaces, if they're not burning the gas coming in completely, they'll make a lot of that carbon monoxide, and you can get carbon monoxide poisoning. So we wouldn't list that as monocarbon, just carbon monoxide. Okay. At this time, you guys can do a lot of practice. If you want to take a quiz on what we did yesterday and did a little bit today, you can. I'll give you that opportunity. You can do it more than once. All right? Or, I mean, I guess you can just do it twice. You can do it another time. And what you'll do is